Happy Tuesday. You are listening to Real Talk with Karen Stacy live on MiamiMikeRadio.com. And tonight, my special guest is Mary Angela. Say hi, Mary.
Hi, guys.
And this is a repeat performance, kinda. We were having some server issues when we were supposed to have our first show. And we ended up doing a wine and cheese party instead.
Which was fun.
Which we did on Facebook Live.
We enjoyed it.
We had fun, and I think everybody else had fun too. I mean, we bullshitted for like 2 hours.
We're very fun together.
Yes, we are. Well, we're just...
We know how to feed off each other.
Which is a beautiful thing.
And all the tangents that we go on.
Yes.
You
gotta
be quick to follow us.
We go from A to Z really fast. You're right.
A lot of tangents.
Which is why tonight's show is really going to be... it's like a good movie where you have like your drama, you have your comedy, you have your sensitive moments.
Action. That's in drama.
Well, that's part of it.
Are we going to do any action stuff?
Action? I don't know if we're doing it. You can do action. I'm going to sit here. I'm sore from yesterday's action.
That sounds bad, Karen.
Oh, no, it really does. I wish I was, but it's just from you bitch.
All right. Now we're coming out.
Okay. And cut.
All right.
Scene 2. No, I'm only kidding. All right. So now, as I said, I digress because we're going to be, I don't want to say all over the place with this show, but we're going to touch on a lot of different things. So I have to keep it real, as you guys all know. And sometimes I can get really deep really fast. So I'm going to start off by apologizing if it happens. But there were some things that were brought to my attention, and I feel I need to address them. So I want to start the show off by reminding everyone, tomorrow is Thanksgiving, of course.
No, 2 days.
I'm sorry, not tomorrow.
Thursday.
Right, Thursday. My kid's off tomorrow, so I'm just thinking ahead. Thursday, thank you. I don't know what day it is. Everybody doesn't know what day it is, and they screwed me up because I knew what day it was until just this minute.
Okay, I believe you.
Yes, thank you. And that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. No, but Thanksgiving is Thursday. And, I just want to remind everyone that the holidays are not always, a joyous time for everyone. So, so many of us have lost others. Maybe, they don't have the finances or might not have their health, or they're watching a family member suffer. And that makes the holidays very difficult because it's when we grow up, God willing, hopefully you had that warm fuzzy feeling, right? And you remember a house full of love, right? You remember a house full of people, a house full of love. Hopefully, when we grew up, there was the kid table, right? Remember the kid table?
There was always a kid table.
But the kid table had the rickety things on underneath. The table was like
it was always in the kitchen.
Right, it was somewhere.
It was always in the kitchen. Well, the adult table was like in the formal dining room.
Right, exactly.
And the kids
and
were not
you're in like
close.
The basement freezing or something. And then you're like standing there waiting for food and like nobody's paying attention to you.
You got the small platters.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Meanwhile, nowadays, I feel old nowadays. Nowadays, you go, the kids are the ones sitting at the big table.
Oh, yes.
And the adults are the ones sitting at the rickety table.
Right, or standing, or...
So I swear that's probably why this generation has gone to the cracker.
I totally see something wrong with that.
There is something wrong with that because we learned respect. Right?
Yes.
If you didn't, your mother, your father, your uncle, they sat down and they did, and you worked around it.
Listen, you're not allowed to slap your kids anymore.
Yeah, I just pull his hand. No. But you know what? And I don't believe, and that's the problem. I'm not telling you to go out and beat your kids, but
there's a difference between beating and then keeping them in line.
Discipline, yes, absolutely.
You knew not to step out of line because you didn't want to get your butt whipped.
Well, I have to say, my parents never hit me, but they got their point across. So, you have to do what works. Like, I know, especially for boys, because I know, you have 4 kids. So, I think, but girls are different because we're bitches.
Oh, girls are just born to torture
terrorize your mother.
They torture you from birth.
Yeah, I know.
The manipulative thing is like inbred.
Yes.
It's born in them. They know from the get-go how to do it. With boys, they wear everything on their sleeve. You know what they're up to. They're up to something bad. You could see it right on their face.
But
girls, you got to be a little more
right. You got and that's but the problem. The thing with boys too is that there's something to be said about look, boys settle things differently than girls, right?
Oh, big
when
time. There's
an issue, every guy has punched their friend in the face.
Right, it's okay.
It's okay. That's how they handle things. So it's they're more physical. So I think that for my
and every girl has ripped out another girl's heart.
Heart, yes, that's true. That's
with
true.
a nail.
Well, yes, and
true.
I laugh. I think my mother-in-law, and she had 3 boys. But my husband's father was a tough man. But she kept them all in line, and she's Sicilian, and she got the shoe.
Yeah.
And the
she
shoe,
had wicked aim.
Wicked aim. That
right.
thing ricocheted, went wherever. I mean, but the boys laugh. My husband would laugh.
Yeah.
When she
which
did
only made her more
right,
mad.
because it's it tickles them.
Because if she could have got them, she would have killed them.
Right. So see, my feeling, and again, I think that with boys, it is different. And I have tortured my child because I want to make sure that he does fear me in that respect. And I have pushed the limits with him at times, because guess what? In another year from now, he's going to be bigger than me. And I'm not going to be able to kick his ass.
He's still young, still. It's really in another 3
I get
years.
it, but it's going to happen.
Is
what I'm saying. If you lose control, if they are not disciplined to know to respect you, and you lose control, you're screwed, because now he's bigger than you. What are you going to do? I mean, I'll beat him with anything. I'll grab a pot, a pan. I don't really care. But I'm just saying,
I'm just going to beat him.
I'm just going to beat him. I mean, whatever.
Maybe he'll be that exceptional child that doesn't need to be beaten.
No, I'm kidding. But
there's a few of them out there.
There are. Well, hopefully, But I'm just saying that.
I haven't encountered any.
You haven't encountered any.
And I've been blessed with 3 granddaughters.
That's right.
And a 5-year-old that negotiates everything with me. Everything. Right down to putting on the coat and the seatbelt.
Yes,
negotiation.
I have had that conversation on the air before, where when I was 3 years old, I told my father that I was not going out to Long Island with them, to my family. And he said he stood out there with me for 5 minutes arguing with me.
And then he realized you were 3.
And then he realized I was 3 and said, "Get in the car, you're going."
Or just pick you up and throw you in the car, and then put some duct tape on your mouth so that you don't scream.
They don't make tape that lasts that well for my mouth, trust me, even when I was 3. But anyway, we digress, because we were talking about the holidays,
the holidays being very tough.
And we were talking about the kid table, which is no longer the kid table, because the kids get better than the adults do now. So any of you adults out there that do better for your kids, cut it out.
Stop it.
Stop it.
Get the kid table back.
Stop
and going.
it. Get the kid table and make sure one of the legs is
rickety. It's going to be a new hashtag. It's a new hashtag, right?
Get the kid table back.
Get the kid table back. Hashtag it this Thanksgiving, so Karen and I can see it.
You know what? That's what you know what we call that, and I talk about that a lot on the show. Old school.
Old school.
Get the old school back, so that these kids have respect and know how to your coffee. They know how to subtract 2 from 10.
As my 10-year-old granddaughter would say, back in the day.
Back in the day.
Back in the day, Nan.
Old school. Old school. Old school. Well, I want to remind you guys that you are listening to Real Talk with Karen Stacy live on MiamiMikeRadio.com. And I am talking with Mary Angela. And I just want to thank you all for the support. Thank you all for tuning in. Tonight's show. As I said, the holidays can be very difficult for a lot of us. Life doesn't always hand you a good hand, but you still got to keep playing. So I just want to remind everybody that is listening that they should definitely try to lead with kindness during the holiday season. And tonight, I am dedicating this show to Kim O'Connell, who was actually a follower on the show, and she wrote in, she commented on a couple of things, and apparently she lost her daughter to Tylenol poisoning, and I think it was it her brother or her father? Someone else had passed away as well, and she was writing, and she commented on a link from the last show me and Mary did. And she was saying, like, thank you, you guys, made me laugh or whatever. And she said how hard it was, that the holidays were coming. She didn't know how she was going to get through it. I responded, you responded, you gave a lot of great suggestions to maybe do like a food drive or a coat drive in the name of, her daughter and all of that. So, we were definitely trying to help. I don't know the details. I just know that I saw on Facebook that she passed. And me and Mary were actually talking about her having coffee last week. Because, we were a little concerned. Because
we were sad for her.
We knew that it was going to be tough. And we know how difficult it is around the holidays as well. So we're dedicating today's show to Kim O'Connell and also anyone out there that, might have a broken heart, and the holidays are not as easy. So, hug people a little more, love them up a little more, give them some more wine, maybe. Right. I don't know, that works for me. Just bring me a bottle of tequila. I'm good. I also want to mention, too, our Lily, who is actually Miami Mike's cousin. Her family had a fire about 2 weeks ago, and she has 5 children.
Oh my gosh.
And we have a GoFundMe going on for her, and the links are on any of the Miami Mike radio people. It is on my page as well. So please, if you can donate and help her, it would be amazing. And that being said, I was talking to someone earlier that knew Kim O'Connell that passed, and she was saying, that she wanted me to do a show on the Tylenol poisoning. Right. So with anybody out there that's listening, if you guys can help me so we can research, I know there are people out there that are friendly with Kim, and they probably know what actually happened. So I'd like to get that information and honor her wishes. And, she just wanted other people to get help and not go
she
through
wanted
that.
to be aware, people to be aware of it. Most of us don't think about taking Tylenol and overdosing on it, or taking too much of it enough to poison ourselves.
Well, again, it's pharmaceuticals is a whole other wicked cycle of, that's almost as bad. I mean, that goes with politics. I mean,
it's tough.
It's a tough thing. So, I just, want to, it's with great sadness that we heard this, and we want to dedicate it. And like I said, dedicate it to everyone out there that's listening. Anyone that can hear us and is feeling down, reach out to somebody. And, I always, you gotta have something to focus on, right?
Yes.
We, like you said, you and I, we feed off of each other and our energy and stuff. And, it's not always easy to do, right? Because some days you get up and you're like, you know what, I'm done, and I just woke up.
Yeah.
And then what?
It's very true.
So that's why, what you do. I mean, tell everybody what you do.
So every day I work at the gym. I do fitness instructing. I teach classes, and it doesn't matter what kind of mood I'm in when I get there. It is my job to motivate and lift people up from wherever they are, and to exercise. And I feel like exercise in general really helps push the endorphins. People feel good when they're done. And it's important to motivate them enough to get there and then to do it also. Yep.
Well, it's true. And, I know it's the holidays, right? So, it's funny because Mary is out of her mind. And she's doing a pie swap.
That's right.
During spin class.
Tomorrow.
So she told everybody to bring in a pie. pie.
And we're going to swap.
And they're going to swap.
Listen, this is why, because not on Thanksgiving, on Halloween,
I
did like a trick-or-treating thing. So I said to everybody, there's 34 bikes, bring in 34 pieces of candy, and everybody's going to trick-or-treat in class. Why not? And it was so much fun. We spent the first 10 minutes of class just laughing and having a great time trading candy.
Right.
So then I thought, why not do something for Thanksgiving? And plus, it makes good table conversation. Where'd you get this pie? My spin class. Your spin class is handing out pies?
Well, what was funny was someone suggested a wine swap instead of
but
that.
I
And Mary's like,
allowed.
I can't get in trouble. I don't know about
like,
that.
what if somebody's not 21 and I send them out of there with a wine bottle?
Right.
That
they're drinking in the car on the way home.
They come back and get me. So I couldn't do that. Although wine swap would be a lot of fun.
Well, we can do that for a different...
we have to do it like outside of the gym.
No, you could do it, but you'd have to just make sure it was like a 21 and over. Yeah, I mean,
21
I
and
don't
over
think there's...
class.
And nobody at that time, they were all like 100.
Yeah, I know.
There's no... You're not
100.
Not 100.
None of them are listening.
They're not... I know members listening. I was kidding. No, I'm only teasing. No, it's not a young crowd.
You know,
at that
you want to
time.
laugh though, Karen. So today I was teaching a spin class in White Plains, and these two young, adorable girls were in the class, and one was in Penn State, the other one went to Syracuse, and we were talking, and she says to me, I know most of the people in this class are old.
What were they, 20-something?
And I was like, oh my God, I hurt so bad.
Yeah.
But she meant like 40.
Yeah, well,
and I
that's
was like,
old
oh
now.
my God, you just killed me.
When you're 20, you're
Talk
old.
about girls reaching in and ripping out somebody's heart.
That's
Listen,
all right.
Carly, you're going to get
that
there
little
too
bitch
one
will
day.
get hers later. Don't worry. 20 years from now.
Those looks don't last forever, sweetheart.
Yeah, that's right. And obviously the brains aren't there because we just learned from your Dunkin' Donuts experience.
Well, she's at Syracuse, so there's some brains involved
Maybe.
there. She got into Syracuse.
There you go.
I got to give her the brain thing.
Okay. Well, let's talk about that though, like the holidays and like falling off the wagon. Like, I know I saw something on your Facebook that you said like you're a diet something. Did you say?
Oh, a weight loss specialist?
Weight loss specialist.
Yes.
So what I never knew that. What does that mean?
So it just means that I help people figure out what they're doing wrong with their nutrition and why they're getting stuck and things like that.
Oh, so like in other words, like, oh, well, maybe you shouldn't have eaten that
sometimes,
pie that you got in spin class.
It's not only the pie.
No,
Believe it or not, sometimes you're not eating enough. It's almost like a reverse thing. If you're working out like an animal and you're not eating, you can still hold on to weight. So you have to really know how to measure it out, and you also have to look for the hidden sugars and things.
Sure.
So you think you're eating a yogurt, and you're like, oh, I'm eating yogurt. It's so healthy.
Right.
Then you take a peek at the sugar, and then all of a sudden that yogurt is not so good.
Right.
So there are different ways to go about that, just to look, and sometimes just looking at the nutrition of everything that you're eating. But I'm not telling you that you can't eat it. Everything has to be done in moderation. So if you just try to cut everything out, it's going to be an epic fail.
Right. So now, in terms of the holidays, what is your best advice? Because so many people, go into the holidays and,
So, first of all, never go to a party hungry. Eat something before you go. Because otherwise you're going to just be like a savage.
So you should eat before you go to Thanksgiving dinner?
Well, Thanksgiving is a different... Listen, Thanksgiving
is different. You're just going to eat like a
I was more talking about holiday parties like Christmas parties and things like that. But Thanksgiving dinner doesn't have to be a horror show.
Right.
Right? I mean, turkey, not really bad.
Right.
Sweet potatoes, not really bad if you're not loading on the butter and the maple syrup and the sugar,
which it's Thanksgiving, so you're thankful that they taste good with all that stuff on it.
All of that stuff is good. Thanksgiving is one day.
Right.
You're not going to blow up your whole routine in one day of bad eating. You're going to drop that fast.
No, but that was going to be my point, though, is that I think sometimes people, when they go to hell with their diet, like for instance,
then they just
Thanksgiving is Thursday.
Right, so
it's like, oh, you know what?
January 1.
Or no, I'll get back on Monday. You know what I mean? Because now
Yeah.
it's Thursday and everybody starts a diet on Monday for some.
Well, these are
unforeseen
people
reason.
that aren't really involved. So people that are normally eating healthy and watching what they eat and everything, and then they blow it one day, those people don't have to worry.
Right.
But the people that aren't really focused, they're not going to be focused on Monday anyway.
Right.
You
That's
have
true.
to be ready to change your lifestyle. You have to be ready. That's the biggest thing. If your head is not in it, it will not happen. And it's just not your fault. It's not like you're failing. You're just not ready to commit.
And that's with everything in life.
Everything, yeah.
But now,
so that's why you're going to do it slow. Take out a few things. So if you're a giant soda drinker, I had one client, she was addicted to Pepsi.
we have
Addicted.
Tia Maria is addicted
so
to
like,
Pepsi.
It was not going to be easy for her to dump the Pepsi habit. It was going to be tough. And she did it. But it was tough, man. The withdrawal was really, really tough. I'm trying not to kick the table.
Yes, thank
you.
you.
And the withdrawal for her was really, really tough.
Yeah.
But think about all the calories and sugar in that Pepsi.
And chemicals.
So just getting rid of that Pepsi helps you lose weight. So,
right.
And then if there's other things that your go-to foods that are not good. If you like ice cream, you're eating it every day, cut it down. It's all about moderation. It really, really is. It's all about moderation. All this other stuff, when you try to block everything from your life, I'm not going to eat pizza ever again. I'm never going to have a burger. I will never touch a hot dog. It's a fail. It's an epic fail. Anytime you say you can't, you do.
Well, I think also it has to do with, it's a lifestyle. So, like, in other words, I try not to eat things that have chemicals in them. Like, I try to eat whole foods as best as I can. So, and you're right.
So you eat clean.
Right. I do.
Right.
I try to eat
And that's
clean.
a great way to eat. That's a wonderful way to eat, right? But every now and then you don't enjoy, like, something that's not clean.
Well, no, I do. And especially if I go out,
right.
I'm very dirty.
How clean is vodka? But
I don't know, but tequila's clean. I don't drink vodka.
Think tequila is clean.
I drink tequila.
It's just, I had something else in my head, but
that's okay. No, but
50 just went like this.
What? Yeah, that's all
I
good. No,
forgot
but
exactly what I was gonna say.
What we were saying was that it's a lifestyle.
Oh yeah, that's it. Thank you. So the other thing besides lifestyle is habit. You'd be so surprised about breaking habits, right?
Right.
You come into the house and you're used to going right to the fridge and grabbing something.
Yep.
Now you got to break that habit. How am I going to do that?
Yep.
That is the hardest thing to do.
You're right.
It's so hard. Or you get it. I used to be like the worst car eater because I'm running from one club to the next club. So I'd be starving and then I'd be like, oh, let me just grab that protein bar and eat that and eat this. And it was getting out of control, and breaking the habit of eating in the car was so hard. Mm-hmm. But just doing that made a remarkable difference.
Right. And you know what? You hit that right on the head. And that, again, goes with everything.
Yes.
Because I was doing the same thing, you know, but not with food, with booze. Because what happened was, you know, after I lost my husband, you know, I would take my son home from school, the house is empty. Yeah. Really empty.
So what would you do? Open a bottle of wine?
Yeah, well, he comes in and he goes and takes his shower or bath or whatever. And yeah, I would make myself a cocktail. That was my time. Once he was upstairs, I was getting dinner ready, and I would go through this thing, and I have my fancy glasses and my shaker, and I would make this beautiful drink, and my lips were like puckering to have it.
Yeah.
And it was a habit. Yep. And a habit that I kept for a long time.
Right. I mean, just like smoking cigarettes is a habit. We get so involved in what we do. We're such creatures of habit that it's very hard, and it's really easy, even once you break that habit, to go right back to it. Well, it's so easy to just get right back into the swing of it. The mindless eating in front of the TV, right? Or
see, I don't do that stuff.
You might. But people do it.
Yes, no, you're right.
They sit down, they watch a show, and they're just like, they're not even paying attention to what they're putting in their mouth. They're just putting it there.
And drinking will do that too.
Yeah, of course.
And for a period of time, I drank at that time before dinner because I couldn't eat. So if I drank, I would eat afterwards.
Right.
But once, and again, it's all part of a learning curve. You have to realize it's a habit. Because you don't even realize it's a habit until you realize it's a habit.
It's all once your head comes to it. Like,
yeah.
I am no longer going to live this lifestyle anymore. You make a decision with yourself. I want to be healthier.
Yep.
I want to be leaner. I want to be a better me.
Yep.
So what am I going to do to get there?
Yep.
And once your head is in it, you can make the changes.
Yeah.
But if your head is not there, no, even if you make the change Monday, Tuesday, you're right back to where you were.
Yeah, you have
and
to
then
have
you
that
feel
little
like a failure.
You have to have that aha moment, that epiphany.
And it doesn't happen sometimes for a long time.
No.
You talk about hitting bottom.
Yeah.
Just like drug addicts, you
Yeah.
know, you have to hit the bottom
Yeah.
In fitness too.
Yeah.
And be like, oh my God, I'm just a slob. I can't stand it anymore. And then come back up.
And beyond feeling like that is also not feeling good. So when you don't put good things in your body, you feel like crap. I mean, I really don't eat carbs. And so when I do, I try to eat smart carbs or whatever you want to call it. So if I have like Sunday macaroni, I'm sitting there and I feel like the biggest fat ass. My stomach is killing me. I'm like, bleh. And because my body isn't used to that, and I don't like feeling that way. So after I eat that, even though I loved it and it tasted so damn good, I'm like, why did I eat that? I feel like shit now.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing. When you go out and you're drinking, you have a great time while you're out drinking, then you don't really remember, oh, I said this, oh, I did that, oh, you wake up and then you're at the diner at 4 o'clock in the morning with the cheeseburger deluxe.
Right.
And,
oh, yeah, right. Drinking just, everything goes once you're had a little bit too much to drink. It doesn't matter what you eat. You're just eating. It doesn't matter. You don't even think twice about it.
You're going to hell. And that's what I'm saying. So your whole...
Drinking makes everything so much easier. If I have a few cocktails, I'm a much better shopper.
Yeah. I'm a better... I mean, but no, you know what? And again, it depends, like you said, moderation. I was going out and I was drinking too much. And, you have to be aware of it, though. If you're not aware of it, you can't change a habit unless you're aware you have the habit. So how did you realize that you were a car reader? I mean, not to be facetious, but how did you consciously say to yourself, like you said, I had to stop that? How did you realize
So I started running races, right? And so I wanted to get faster, so I knew I had to, like, lean up a little bit. And then I started really looking at what I was doing. Because I exercise a lot. I mean, there's no question. I'm doing 15 to 20 hours a week of exercise. So that wasn't really the issue. The issue was, what was I eating that was holding me back? And then I started to see myself, oh, you're eating in the car. This is what's happening. I'm starving between classes. I have to get from one club to the next. I don't have time. So then I started packing, protein snacks. Turkey rolls or apples and things like that.
And when you're starving, those go down really fast, though.
Right. But you know what? But they're good, too, because they fill you up.
Right.
You eat an apple, and you're stuffed. You really are, because it has a lot of fiber in it. So now you're satisfied.
Right.
But when you're eating crap, you just eat tons of it because you're never satisfied.
And that's the danger, too, is when you're starving, you want everything.
Right, everything. Never go to the grocery store starving.
Yes.
That is a very bad thing to do.
Or
I did
when
that
you're
today.
PMSing.
I did that today. I went to do the Thanksgiving shopping.
Finally.
After I had done 2 spin classes, I went swimming for 100 laps, and then taught a body pump class, and then I went to ShopRite.
And I hadn't eaten?
The only thing I ate was a damn Cliff Bar. And when I was in ShopRite,
it was like cliff.
It was like crazy. I'm like, oh, Italian sausage, yes. Provolone, yes, we need this. There were so many things in my cart.
I went and got the same stuff today. That's hysterical. And I just left class, too.
And I was just like, oh, my God. As I was going down, I'm like, oh, I'm going to make this. Then as I'm taking everything out, I'm like,
what did I buy? Yeah.
Oh, my God.
I'm not making all of that.
It was crazy.
Yeah, I get it. And it is true. You should never food shop hungry.
No. Never. It's a terrible thing to do.
Yeah. It's
Talk about money wasted.
Yeah, well, it's not wasted because it's going to get eaten.
Well, listen, Thanksgiving Day is going to be really succulent in my mouth.
Well, you're listening to Real Talk with Karen Stacy live on MiamiMikeRadio.com, and we're talking to Mary Angela, and we are talking about not losing Well, or not not losing the ability to close your pants during the holidays.
I'll tell you what, I just saw this thing online that I actually signed up for, and it's something that will hold you accountable. So,
okay.
So it's like it's a virtual type of race. I can't remember what it's called. I have to look it up on my phone. But so you can sign up for the month to do 25, 50, 75 miles. Now it's up to you. You want to walk them, run them, whatever you want to do, but you log it, and then at the end of the month, if you hit your goal, they send you a medal. So you have to,
cute.
like, the iPhones and Fitbits, everybody's logging their steps and how much they walk.
Yeah, I don't know how to do
But so I just signed up for that myself, and I'm trying to get some people on my fitness page to sign up with me, because now, okay, we're going to hit 50 miles this month, which means we're going to have to work out every day, no matter what. If I'm eating, if I'm going to parties, if I'm drinking, and that extra push is going to help you, because you're going to eat the calories. You've got to burn them off. You need to get to the gym.
Right, that was what I was going to say. A lot of people say, like, I hear different things, and I think everybody's body is different, but a lot of people say that 80% is your diet and 20% is exercising. What do you feel about that?
I feel like calories in, calories burned. It's how much are you taking in, how much are you expending out. So yeah, it has a lot to do with what you eat, but you gotta work out. You have to.
But also, I just because you work out an exorbitant
Yes,
amount
I do.
a day, which is not typically recommended, because to my understanding, anything beyond like an hour or two, they say is almost counterproductive at that point. But you're not doing it at the same, you're not working out for 5 hours straight. You're doing classes throughout the day.
Right.
But I have heard before that sometimes that can have a counter effect. Have you heard that before? That, over exercising?
I mean, if you exercise too much, you risk injury.
Right.
Things like that. So, yeah, I don't recommend doing, 5 body pump classes a week. But I don't think that there's anything wrong with getting out and taking a walk every single day.
Oh, I agree with you.
For 30 minutes or an hour.
No, but I meant those people. Yeah. There are people that are in the gym for 2 hours and better.
But it depends on what they're doing. Like, are they doing an hour of cardio and then they're doing another hour of strength training? That's okay.
Right.
And you want to take a day off with strength training.
Right.
And you do want to rest too from cardio. If you're a runner and you're running 5 days a week, you got to give your body a break. You do. Right. You need a rest day for sure.
Right. Well, so now you're saying so your advice would be with the holidays, to maybe if you want to eat, you're saying try to eat like for the parties. Don't go there starving.
Don't go there starving. And in between every drink, water.
Water.
Or club soda. And if you want to feel, I'll tell you the trick that I do too, because sometimes even at our age, there's peer pressure to drink at these parties.
I know, and I'm a sucker for it.
People really feel like uncomfortable if you're not drinking.
Not taking,
So what I do these days is I put like a club soda with a lime in a stem glass, so it looks like a drink.
Right.
Nobody knows it's not vodka.
Right.
And I just go with it.
Right.
Yep, this is my drink, and then every other drink, put a little bit of alcohol or whatever, and you'd be surprised how far that gets you, right?
Yeah.
Because social drinking, by the end of the night, you could be loaded if you're not careful.
Yes.
Because you're having a good time. You're not thinking, you're going up to the wall, bang, you hit the wall.
Yep.
Right? And sometimes you hit that wall, you don't even see it coming,
yeah.
right?
Oh, no, you don't.
Especially with tequila. Tequila is one of those things.
1 tequila, 2 tequila, 3 tequila,
wall.
4. It's like floor,
Hit the floor, yeah exactly.
Floor, yeah.
Sometimes you don't even realize. So I've started doing that. I will fake drink.
Yeah.
Right? Fake drink.
Well, that I also noticed too that, and somebody told me this about drinking, which I did test the theory. Mm-hmm. He said that if you drink, and see, now this was something that I developed. I started drinking on an empty stomach because I couldn't eat. So, and I rather drink on an empty stomach because my stomach doesn't feel so, like after you eat, you don't want to drink because you're like, like a mush. Right. But it's better to eat, like he said, if you have 2 Triscuits, you need to put something in your stomach before you drink. So, again, we're telling people not to overeat,
Right.
but you should have a little something
Oh, yeah.
before you drink, because that will hit you
Well,
harder.
right, exactly. And the other thing is, don't exercise and then go out and drink. Because when you hydrate with alcohol, you will get loaded in 3 seconds.
Thank
Bang.
God I work out in the morning.
Yeah, because so that has actually happened to me.
Oh,
like
okay.
go out after a spin class on a Friday night, spin. Oh, let's go get some drinks. Okay, go out 2 glasses of wine. Now I'm loopy. Like what is going on?
I never knew that.
Yeah, because you're dehydrated.
Okay.
When you can't hydrate with alcohol. Don't ever hydrate with alcohol. That is the worst thing you can do for yourself.
Okay.
So we don't want to do that. So
Damn it!
these are
I've
the
been
things
doing it all wrong.
Right, these are the things that you want to be aware of during the holidays. And that's how you do it, because this whole New Year's Day thing, oh, we're gonna start a whole new lifestyle. It's garbage.
Yeah.
It's not gonna work. I see people come into the gym New Year's Day, overkill.
Oh, forget about it.
2 weeks later, we never see them again.
Yeah, I know. Once New Year's comes, it's like, oh, here we go. We got to fight for a spot.
You'd be surprised that January, and the new January is September, when the kids go back to school.
I said that. I did a show on that.
Yeah.
Yes,
When the
absolutely.
kids go back to school, the moms come in.
Yeah, me. Well,
Yeah.
you didn't see me all summer.
Yeah.
And
But I mean, you're out with. But I saw you before. You told me you were doing that.
Oh, yeah. Because of my son,
yeah.
I can't go. But, I did manage to go to the gym a little bit near me in the interim. But I fall off the wayside a little bit with that, too. But, I think that the moral of the story, and something that everybody that's listening should think about, is, like I said, Thursday is Thanksgiving. That doesn't mean that you can eat like you go into the electric chair Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then get back to it on Monday.
Friday, we're all going to be out Black Friday shopping.
Yeah, okay, good luck with that.
No, I'm not. I'm working at the gym on Friday.
Yeah, no way. And that's a whole other story where the world has gone to the crapper that people can't even be with their families anymore because people got to run out on Thanksgiving to go shopping.
I have to throw a shout out here to ShopRite, because they are closed Thanksgiving.
You know what? And I
actually like that.
I commend it.
Me too.
It is ridiculous that the holidays have become more of a reason to commercialize.
Yeah, we were talking about this in the last time we were together. We were saying, like, Sunday used to be the day where everything was closed, right?
Yep.
You couldn't get milk for your starving baby.
Yep.
On a Sunday.
Yep.
So it would be nice if we could go back to that, because this world today, both parents are working.
Yep.
The whole family unit has broken down.
Yep.
And it's very sad.
Yep.
It's sad for these kids.
Yeah.
And then parents are overcompensating because they feel guilty for not spending time with the kids. And now we have this me generation,
Yep.
right? It's all about them.
Yep.
It's insane.
Yep.
And it's our fault.
Right. No, well, it's your fault. I don't do that. No.
Yeah, I don't have kids like that.
It's your fault.
I don't have kids like that. I was lucky enough to not. My job was always one where I could arrange my classes around their school schedule.
Right.
And whenever I was working and they were home from school, they could come with me.
Right.
So I was always with them. So I was very fortunate in that
Right.
respect, because I didn't have to. But I see my daughter, she has to work full time. I do everything I can to go pick up the kids and spend a lot of time with them. But it's so hard for these moms. So hard.
I know. Well, you know what? Life is hard, period, for everybody, and that was part of how we just started this show, right? Was about the holidays.
Yeah.
And so, there's a lot of obstacles to climb during the holidays, and one of them is definitely not, going to crap with your eating.
Right.
I mean,
Well, that's not going to help your mood, especially if you're not feeling up, right?
Right.
Now you start weighing yourself down with food, and it's just awful.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, you don't like the way you have to recognize that you don't like the way you feel afterwards. So, like, again, if you eat too much, you feel like crap. If you drink too much, you feel like crap.
Right.
I mean, all of the things and it's right there, but it just depends on how crappy you feel, whether you're going to change that or not, right?
So you know what else I find helpful too is, like, get a group together. So let's say you have like 4 or 5 friends. Make a little group and hold each other accountable, so that when you feel like you're about to go off the edge, you call or text your friend, like, help me.
Right.
And you'd be surprised how much that helps when you have a buddy, a fitness buddy.
That's
It really
true.
is amazing. I'm very lucky because I work at the gym, but then my kids, they're all grown up now, and each one of them will work out with me in different ways.
That's
I'll run with my son. I'll swim with my daughter. So I will take the dog for a hike. Each one of them is involved in fitness in a different way. But it's so much fun. So maybe do that. You can even do that with your kids on the weekend.
Right.
Instead of staying home, watching TV, cleaning the house, forget about it. Go to the park, run around, kick the ball, and it all adds to the fitness.
Again, it's a lifestyle. So, like, your lifestyle is an active lifestyle.
Right.
You're not sedimentary, so your children are not sedimentary. So it's very different. Like me...
Is it sedimentary?
Sedentary. Is it sedentary? Sedimentary? I don't know.
Sedimentary?
Am I saying the wrong word? A sedentary?
Spell check!
Bill, which one is it?
Yeah, Bill, tell us.
I'm the
Bill,
worst.
we're going to you. Hurry up.
Hurry up. We need to know
God, Bill.
Did I use the right
I'm
word?
going to put my glasses on Bill so I can read.
Yeah, no, I can see it. He didn't. I don't think he...
Oh, he doesn't like Acme.
Oh, no, because one of our listeners works there. But, I mean, it's like we said, it's all about a lifestyle. Like, for me personally, like, my girlfriend is doing Weight Watchers. So she says to me last night, I got these bars and I love them. And I go, oh, well, that's great. You're eating chemicals. And she's like, are you kidding me? I'm like, no. And she's like, but they're only 2 points.
I know the
satisfy
point.
me.
All right, so Weight Watchers is really... Weight Watchers is great for people that need to focus, right?
Sedentary, yeah. Sedentary. Thank you. Okay.
Yeah, so you know, they have those bars and everything, but
Yes.
they're really focused on fruits and vegetables. I've seen the whole point system, and I like it. It really is good because they're allowing you to just stuff your face with vegetables. And you know that you just can't eat that much of it. At one point, you're like, I can't eat all the vegetables.
Right.
So it's good for people to start to recognize what's good food, what's bad food. Now you're seeing that, yeah, okay, so those bars are crappy and 2 points or whatever, but you're really seeing, oh, this wrap that I want to eat is 17
right,
points.
Right, it's all the points I was supposed to have.
Right, and then you're like, wait a minute,
right.
This is crazy. Why would I do this? So it wakes people up, and that's what's so good about it.
I think everybody is different, and everybody's programmed different, and some people need that type of guidance.
Yeah.
My point to that was, as I said, and I said this to my girlfriend, she said, let me take a picture of it, and I'll send you the ingredients. And I said, you know, I would bet that it's going to all be chemicals. And sure enough, when she sent it to me and I read it, it's all chemicals. I'm big on non-GMO. I told you that, you know, organic or whatever when possible. You know, whole foods. So, like, I know that a Weight Watchers or an Atkins or any of those things, you know, the only way to make them 2 points is to put chemicals in them so that all of the things that you would be getting the nutrients from isn't there. So, you know, that was why, like I said to her when I said exactly that to her. I said, you know what? Eat them. Eat them for now. You're trying to get to your goal weight and that satisfies you. You enjoy it. I said, eat it. But just be mindful that once you get to where you need to go, we find an alternate for those bars, you know? So that's what I mean by a lot of people, not every calorie.
But she'll also find an alternate before them because that bar might be like this big, right? And then, but another thing for 2 points is going to be this big.
Right.
And now she's going to be like, well, I could have like 2 apples and a banana and eat that. Or I can have this little
bite.
Chocolate bar.
Right. This little
and
bite.
People start to see that. And people that are...
It's value.
It really is. People that are needing to lose a lot of weight or don't know much about nutrition need to see those things.
Absolutely.
And learn that.
Absolutely.
And that's something that's really good. People that will log in there. Food diaries are really priceless.
Holding you accountable.
They really, really are because then you look... Oh, it's people with small kids, right? They're eating a little bit of their mac and cheese, or they're having a bite of their grilled cheese.
And I never did that. You're right. I've seen, and all the mothers are eating
and they
after
don't
the
understand.
Kids. Yep.
Where are my calories? I didn't even eat lunch today.
Right.
But you ate 5 meals without even realizing it because you're cleaning up after the kids. You had the rest of their chicken nugget.
Exactly.
You ate the rest of their burger, whatever it was that you fed them. And that's what happens.
Exactly.
So food diaries are really a fabulous tool. If you're struggling with weight. And you're saying to yourself, but I work out and I eat clean and I do all of these things, but I'm not losing weight. Trust me. Write everything you put in your mouth, right down to that one cheese doodle you picked up off the car floor that the kid dropped, and you put that into your food diary, and you will see where your mistakes are being made.
Yeah. No, it's true. And that's why I'm saying everything works for different, but again, it has to be a lifestyle. Habits need to be broken. So the whole point to eating differently is to cut your cravings as well, because sugar, as you mentioned, is the devil. Yes. And that makes you crave everything. Yes. So the more carbs and the more sugar you have, the more carbs and the more sugar your body wants. So, like I said, I don't do carbs. And when I do, afterwards, I'm like an animal. I'm like, oh, what else can I eat? Like, right. I want everything now because I just,
people that really love sugar too, the getting away from it, that detox of sugar is horrible.
Withdrawal is terrible.
Horrible.
Yes.
So you have a headache, you can't get up, you feel like
chills,
crap.
You have flu-like symptoms.
Awful.
Yep.
And you have to know that for 3 days, you are going to be put
like shit
down.
Yeah. When
you need to get off the sugar. Sugar is like crack.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like, it is a horrible thing. And you need to just know that this is what's going to happen.
Yes.
Power through it.
Yes.
And then don't look back. I know, it's easier said than done.
Well, it's not it's not easy, but again, it's breaking the habit, because what ends up happening is that those are a tough few days. But that's my point, is that after I had my son, I did I think I had mentioned that HCG diet where you can't have nothing. I mean, it sucks, but you deplete all your sugar and all of that. And after I did the diet and I maintained it as you were supposed to, and we went to something and they had a dessert thing, and I was like, "Ooh, that looks good." I literally was like, I got the chills. I was sick because I had dessert, because my body just bugged out. And I could only have a bite or two. I mean, I like to have a bite or two of everything because I like to try a bunch of stuff. But I can't sit there. My son's like, "Mom, try this." And I'm like, "Ooh, no, I don't want that." Because I trained myself not to eat the sugar. I mean, don't get me wrong. You have a tiramisu or a chocolate mousse, I'm all over it at times. But you know that you can't do that all the time, and sometimes you.
But some of us have a hard time. Once we start with the sugar, we can't
go back.
Stop.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
So
it's addicting.
It is addicting. It's another addictive thing. You have to look at it like that too. So.
Well, yeah, and that's the thing is, if you know you're going to jump off the edge,
you can't do it.
You can't do it. It's like an alcoholic. If you stop drinking, you know you can't just have one drink, because the minute you go there, you're going to be like, "Woohoo! Why did I ever stop this?"
Exactly.
And then when you hit that wall, you remember why you stopped. Right.
It's really not pretty.
No, and that, like you said, people say, "Oh, I can't believe I gained, weight." Oh, well, hello, do you realize what you were just eating?
I know.
And I look at my son and I say the same thing. My son is a Tonka truck. And I'm like, I don't feed him like this. I know he sneaks stuff downstairs with my mother-in-law, my father-in-law. That I know. But I wonder, but he's a sugar kid. He loves sugar. He has to have his ices. Yes, they're organic and it's fresh fruit ices, but it's still sugar. Mm-hmm. He likes his his chocolate almond milk. It's still sugar. It's not dairy, but it's still sugar. So all of these things, they add up at the end of the day.
And that's what I mean. When you start to see it, if you're not recognizing what's going on, write down everything you put into your mouth.
Right. And you'll accountability. It's accountability.
But that's the thing. That's why it's always good to have a buddy. And, and especially with Facebook these days, it's social media, it's easy to put a little tiny group together and then hold each other accountable.
True.
You can make a separate private group so nobody else sees it. And you get 5 or 6 of your Facebook friends, people that you might not even know or see every day. And you say, "All right, guys, we're all in this now.
Right.
Let's go for 10 pounds and make the goal achievable, though. Don't say I'm going to lose 10 pounds in 2 weeks, because you're not going to. Do a 2 pound a week kind of thing and hold each other accountable to it. We're not going to eat sugar today, and we're going to take a mile walk.
Right.
Or we're going to get on the bike today, or we're going to climb some stairs, or whatever you're going to do. And hold each other accountable for that. It's so easy to do. Make these little Facebook groups, and you'll have success.
Well, I think, also the key, like you said, is exercise too. So you got to find something you like. Try different exercises and see what works for you. Like I personally, I'll do weights. I like to do weights, but I like the class. Like I like to spin because I love especially like your class. I love the loud music, and I just go. And I hated it when I first started,
right?
Because spin is like a love-hate thing. And I absolutely hated it. But you get results because you're working. But again, you could not work in a spin. You could not work in anything. There are people that go to the gym, and I know you see day in, day out.
I see them on the phone. Oh, please. I can't. They can't put these damn phones down. They're spinning out of control.
Yes.
But here's another thing. Don't do the same thing all the time.
Right.
Don't spin 5 times a week. Go spin, then go climb the stairs or go on the treadmill because your body gets used to the same exercise and then it's not burning calories as efficiently because you're so good at it.
Right.
So like when I'm trying to do a spin class, it's hard for me to get my heart rate up because I do it 5 times a week. It's like, it's the least. I love spinning because I love the people that come and the energy in the room is amazing.
Right.
But as far as workout for me, it's not really working.
Well, and again, I mean, I could see that because you exercise so much. And, again, if you're taking spin, that little knob on the bottom is the difference between, tension and no tension.
And let me just say this. All you people out there that take spin class and you're not putting the tension on, or you're spinning really fast and you don't think that the instructor notices, we notice.
Yeah.
I want you to know, we notice.
Yeah.
I know every single person in my class that is not actually working to their potential. I know. I don't always call them out. I will call them out if I know them well enough to call them out and not embarrass them.
Right.
I'm very careful to not call people out. But don't fool yourself.
That's what I was saying.
You think you're going to fool me? You're not fooling me. But don't fool yourself. You know you're not doing it. And the other thing I would tell people too is get a heart rate monitor. That's something else that holds you up. Heart rate monitors hold you accountable.
Yeah.
Now I say to you, I want you at 70% of your max heart rate.
Right.
You look down at your heart rate monitor and your heart rate is like 80. Guess what? You're not working hard.
Yeah.
So even when I don't wear a heart rate monitor, and I wear it all the time because I'm addicted to it, right? It's another thing that you get addicted to. Before I had my heart rate monitor, I thought I was working hard, and then I get the heart rate monitor, I'm like, oh my God, I'm so not pushing myself right now. And I know what it feels like to push myself, and I still was fooling myself.
Yeah. And I get that. And when I first got back into the gym after I had my son, I realized that too because I was seeing people and I would see them like drenched and like whatever, and I'm saying, how come, like, what's up with me? Like, what am I doing wrong? And then I got clients and they were personal trainers, and they helped me, and and it changes your entire workout,
absolutely. So I suggest the heart rate monitor. Really, I suggest it. And there's so many apps on the phone that you can connect your monitor to, and it will show you working 50%, 80%, 60%, so that you can gauge your workout and really push yourself to your potential. And that's what you want to do.
And again, I see some comments on the Facebook Live, and like they're saying like Zumba.
Oh, I love Zumba. And
we did it yesterday morning after
Zumba is so much fun. You don't even realize you're burning the calories. You're shaking it up and just having a great time. I love Zumba. I really do. One of my favorites. Now, I could teach it, but I'm just not comfortable enough, but I love to take it. It's one of my favorite things to do.
Well, like I said, it's anything that works for you. So like you were saying, go for a walk, whatever it is, but you have to understand what you're doing in the sense that you can't, like these, like you said, like I see people are in spin class and they don't even break a sweat, or they're on the machines and they're breaking so much in between exercises that there's nothing there. Like interval training, right, is very healthy for you. Bring your heart rate up for, a minute. And
right.
then you have, what, a
It's
30-second
HIIT training.
The HIIT
Right.
training, where you need to jumpstart your body, and that's supposed to help with your metabolism.
Now, some people have injury, okay? So there are some people out there that's like, oh, it's not good for my knees, or my shoulder, or my ankle, whatever. So you have to understand, too, that exercise, you might have some injuries, or you might have arthritis and holding you back. Start slow, because in the end, the exercise and movement is going to help you.
Yep.
And don't underestimate swimming. Swimming is a wonderful...
that's supposed to be great.
Yeah.
I can't swim, though.
So, I couldn't swim either. And I think it was maybe last February or January, a couple of friends of mine decided that we should do triathlons. All right, like sprint distances, not big ones, not yet. But none of us knew how to swim. We could bike and we could run. So we started to take swimming lessons. And I gotta tell you, it was a real eye-opener. So when I first started, I could not keep my face in the water. I was a terrible swimmer. And now, almost a year, February will be a year. And like I said, today I went and I swam 100 laps. 100 laps. From somebody that could not swim 6 months ago. So you can do it. Join a class at the Y. They have swim instruction for adults. And learn how to swim. And you know what? It's a lot of fun. Because it's something you don't know how to do. You're teaching yourself something new. So it's got that little excitement to it,
Like a new toy.
It's fun. And it's another nice thing about swimming is you get out of the pool and you do not feel like you just got beat up. Like after a kickboxing class or a spin class where you're sweaty and you're achy. But no, when you're in the pool, it's really nice. It's very
soothing, right?
I love it. I gotta say, I really love it. It's
awesome.
Not easy, but it's great. And
it's also no impact, right? Isn't it supposed to be like very healthy?
It's good for the joints, right?
Yeah.
It's good for people that have issues with their knees or their shoulders, elbows, wrists, whatever.
I like swim up bars. That's
yeah.
I like the pools because I like
able to swim up. I
like
the bar.
swim up bars. Well, I don't. I walk cutely to it and sit my ass down on the thing, and then that's it. And then, as a matter of fact, I was in the Dominican Republic, and I had to walk across. And since I'm like 5 foot nothing,
it was over your head.
It was almost over my head, but my drink was up in the air.
You were on your tippy toes.
I was on my tippy toes. I'm like, nobody splash, because if chlorine gets in my freaking drink, I'm gonna be pissed off.
It's awful.
Oh, we made it. But
we did.
I just want to thank you guys for tuning in to Real Talk with Karen Stacy. We are live on MiamiMikeRadio.com. And we are talking to Mary Angela, which we are discussing, staying in shape for the holidays, or maybe getting in shape.
Not putting on 15 extra holiday pounds. You do not want to do that.
Right. And the other thing, too, is that if you did, if you have been losing weight or you've been on a program, I so many people will say, oh, I did that. I just saw a girl the other day. Oh, remember I lost, all that weight? I just put it all back on again.
No,
it again,
that tells you, right, exactly.
Lifestyle.
That tells you right there that she did it the wrong way.
Right.
Slow weight loss is the best way. Guys, if you're losing 1.5 pounds a week, that is perfect. You don't want to lose 10 pounds in 10 days. It's impossible. It's water weight, and it's not going to stay off. You have to do it slow and steady. And each week it adds up and adds up.
But you have to also maintain it. See, that's the issue, is that our bodies, I don't know how everybody is. I know my body is the type that it likes to be at one weight. And it likes to stay at that weight. I do fluctuate. Like lately I've been fluctuating a couple of pounds up or down, but that has to be water. But I know for me personally, like it's hard for me to break. Like if I get to a certain weight, for me to get under that weight, I got to kill myself to make
because
the
your
scale
body,
move.
but you probably shouldn't be under that weight.
I disagree.
Right, but that's,
I disagree.
I have people that tell me they want to be like way less than they should ever be.
No.
And it's crazy.
I get that.
If you're killing yourself to maintain a weight, you should not be that way. You shouldn't be that.
And I get that, and I've done that before, but no, I do get that, but I'm little, so I should be, statistically, I should weigh less than what I weigh. So, I mean, but what I'm trying to say is that a lot of us plateau, like, some of our bodies, we like where we're at. So to move from there is what's tricky. But if you live a lifestyle that keeps you there, then you're doing something right because you're maintaining, is what I'm trying to say. So yes, you can up it and maybe drop a little bit. But if you start implementing a different lifestyle, you're gonna go up, and that's when you got to stay on top of it.
You got to stay on top of it
because you know what, a pound, 2 pounds, 3 pounds. Okay,
it adds up if you're doing that every month. It
keeps going, correct. So that's what I'm saying, is that you got to stay on top of that. If your pants start to get tight, don't blame it on the freaking dryer.
Right, that's right. Don't blame it on the dryer.
Blame it on your mouth.
Break out the pliers.
Blame it on the mouth.
Zipping them up.
So now, in this, we you and I were talking earlier about energy and feeding off of other people's energy. And I think that is a very important thing to talk about, because a lot of energy is contagious.
Yes.
Whether it be negative energy or positive energy. And depending on the person, depends on how sensitive they are to it. But I'm sure there are people out there listening right now that can think they love being around a certain person, let's say, for argument's sake. Every time I see, Mary Jane, I just love being with her. She's so cool. You feel good when you're around that person because you're feeling that energy.
Right.
Same way that you can be around someone and you're like, oh my God, that freaking Joe is a miserable. Every time I see him, he's gloom and doom.
But some people are just miserable.
Right.
They complain incessantly about everything. I like to look at things every day. I try to find a positive about whatever negative thing is going on in my life. Because otherwise, you just don't get out of bed.
Right.
And, I see people all day long that are miserable.
Yeah.
They come to the gym miserable a lot of times. They just come to the gym to yell at the people that work there.
Yeah.
And it's really sad. But you never know what people are going through, right? So I try to make it a point to tell somebody something positive every day, whether I know them or not.
Right.
So there's a lot of people I don't know. I might see somebody in Starbucks wearing a really pretty pink shirt, and I'll say to her, that color looks great on you. Now, you know what? She'll be like, oh, thank you.
Right.
You don't even know how that changes a person's day, right? They change, their whole attitude changes, and everybody needs to do that. They just need to do some kind of random act of kindness for somebody, because you just don't know what people are going through.
And as I said, during this time of year, it's
especially
even
now,
worse because you don't know what someone is going through. You don't know. Maybe, they wanted Thanksgiving dinner and they didn't have the money to buy the food to put on the table.
Sad.
Maybe they have no family. They have nobody to go to. So, it's, and listen, I've talked about this before, and, I guess we can get into it right now. I mean, you and I both, have, both of our moms are suffering from dementia, and Alzheimer's. So that's one less person, at the table. So now you're having Thanksgiving and you're blessed that you have your children and you have your grandchildren.
Oh, but it sits on you.
But
that
you're missing
your mom
your
is
mother.
not there. My dad's not there anymore. I mean, it's really, really hard. It's very hard. You have to, sometimes the holidays, even for me, even though I have grandchildren and everybody's so upbeat and happy and enjoying them, but there's a real sadness in your heart because it's so different for you.
Right.
And, you got to power through it somehow for them, for people around you, but it's not easy.
No, and I know I look at my son, and he has always given me the strength, to push because the holidays, I do it for him. I mean, at this point, I would have never, when I've done the holidays ever since I had my house. So in 2002, I started doing all the holidays, and you have all the craziness, and I remember, all this stuff, and my husband would say to me, why again do we do the holidays? And I'm like, shut up, because it's tradition, and we're fighting, there's stuff, we spent $1 gazillion
exactly.
and all of that, and I'm like, it's tradition. And then when my son was born, and it got trickier because you got to cook, you got to this, and they're bouncing off the wall. And he would say to me, Mama, why don't we just go out? And I go, because I did a tradition for all this time. Now that I have a kid, you want me to go out? Like, this is tradition. This is home. This is what you do.
Right.
Family stays together for the holidays.
It certainly makes you appreciate your mom a lot more, because when you were a kid, or
my
when
mom
I was
never
a
did
kid,
none of that.
Oh, my mom was huge. I mean, she cooked for, and I have a big family, so there's 6 kids in my family, and we're married, and we have kids.
Wow.
My mother cooked everything. She would
That's
just
awesome.
slave on the desserts and the turkey for Thanksgiving, for Christmas, for everything, and clean the house. And
yeah.
And I know that, like, I wasn't really helping.
Yeah.
I just know I wasn't. She just did it all with a
Yeah.
big smile on her face, and it just really makes you appreciate that much more when you're doing it. And you think, how the hell did she do this? Like, this is miserable.
Yeah.
It's so much work, and nobody appreciates it, you know?
I hope my son thinks that when he gets bigger.
But there's no way for him not to think it, because I wasn't thinking that when I was 10 years old about the work my mom was putting into it. I didn't start thinking about that until she wasn't doing it, and I was. And that's a big deal.
Yeah, thankfully, he's very in tune. And I, not that I guilt him, I remind him, because, when he sits there, and again, I don't like the whole me generation, and you're not me generation in my house.
Right.
So, you know what? Understand that, understand that if you're here, I'm doing this, you need to appreciate it, and this is what, and he knows, like, now I make him, he's not a turkey fan. My son eats everything in the world except he won't eat turkey. So now I have 5 people. I'm making a turkey, a ham, the sweet potato casserole thing, stuffing, fresh cranberries, salad. And I don't know if I'm forgetting something at this point, but I mean, that's a lot of food for 5 people.
Yeah.
And his mac and cheese, because
right.
I make him did I say that already?
No.
And he doesn't, I don't give him dairy. So I make him a non-dairy mac and cheese, which I started a couple of years ago, and now it's like a tradition. So he's like, Mom, I don't want to know nothing. I want my non-dairy mac and cheese, but I want a ham. And I'm like, you frig. So now my mother-in-law helps me shop for Thanksgiving. So I tell her, and I said, this little shit wants a freaking ham. So she's like, okay, but he knows that, and he looks forward to it. But now he's like, Mommy, who's coming? And now it's like, there's 2 empty seats at the table,
right,
beyond all the other people that aren't there anymore. But the holidays are hard,
Yeah.
My husband is not there. His father is not there. My mother is not there.
Right.
So, this is why I say a lot of people, the holidays are difficult. So sometimes you have to give somebody that positive energy, because you know what? I am blessed that I can look at my son and drink heavily and get through the holidays. But, not everybody can do that.
No, I know. No, some people have no one left.
Right. And for that, I also say too, you should always have your door open. That's how I feel. And I have said this before, and I know there are a lot of people on Facebook that are not my personal friends, and I don't want any crazy people in my house. But
oh my God.
I have always had an open door policy.
Yeah.
I talked about this in the other show, that my cousins used to come. They had a neighbor that had nobody. They brought him to my house. He had such a good time. He came back the following year. That made my heart full, because I made somebody's, holiday happy, and they would have been alone, that makes me feel good. And I truly have said that before, that if people are, alone, reach out to somebody,
Right.
and people, have your doors open. And if somebody needs to come, you put the extra, I don't care, come whenever,
right,
come
exactly.
by, do whatever. My door
the
is
more
always
the merrier.
open. Yes, my door is always open. You always find it, no matter what, and I think it's important. Again, giving back and being thankful, because that's what Thanksgiving is, right?
Right.
It's being thankful. There, like we said before, this poor Lily, she lost her everything 2 weeks ago, and it's the holidays. And guess what? I saw her on I don't know, Instagram, I think, and she was out helping people deliver turkeys to people that couldn't afford, to have the turkey dinner. So this woman just lost everything, and she's still out there giving, which is truly amazing.
It is.
And it really hit me because she's not sitting there and not
feeling
sorry for herself. And not that people aren't entitled to feel sorry, but you can't feel sorry for yourself because that's not going to get you anywhere.
Yeah, I mean, you can have a little bit of time to do that, but then you got to snap out of it. You just have to. The problem is that some people really sink.
Yes.
In it. And it's sad.
Yes.
And I've seen people sink in depression, and it's very hard for them to pull out. It's a sad time. Listen, it's like that with everything, and that's why, like we were just talking about feeding off of energy. When you came, when I hosted the body mechanics thing, that was my husband's birthday, and I was, having a rough day, and I said to you, I'm so glad that you're coming. I need to be with you. Right.
And I was good. I mean, I got over the hump. I had a couple of drinks, but I got over the hump, and, I was able to, get to the other side. So whatever it takes, you need that, but you need people. Sometimes you do have to reach out to people, and a lot of us don't want to reach out, right? I text you like a week ago after I left my mother. I was a mess, and I felt bad texting you because I know you're bouncing off of, you're eating in the car, you're running to your things.
But I get it. That's the thing. You need people that get it. Some people don't get it.
Right.
Some people don't understand dementia and Alzheimer's. They just don't get it.
Yeah, so I don't, and
I get it. So it's okay.
And I want to talk about that a little bit. Like I said to you guys in the beginning of this show, we're going to be all over the place. But I do want to address this because I have had listeners that they're going through the same thing, and a parent has dementia or Alzheimer's. Mm-hmm. Now it is, I mean, I can't imagine what it's like for them. I mean, it's literally being trapped in your own body. It is. That's what it I mean, well, to be.
You know what? It's so hard to know what's going on in their head, especially when they're not verbal anymore. And you don't know. Do they know and they can't tell you? Do they recognize, but they can't, their brain to their mouth, it's not working? You just don't know what's going on in their head. You can't imagine it. And so, just as human beings, what do? We imagine the worst parts of it, right? We think it's terrible, and it's hard to watch, it's hard to see. But, I don't know, one day I just had to come to terms with the Alzheimer's that my mom has, and I just had to accept it. And then from there, it got much better. Because in the beginning, I was very angry. And I used to, get mad at her. Because she looked so normal. And I'd be like, cut it out. What is wrong with you? And I can remember being very angry with her. Shaking, basically, Mom, come on.
Right.
What is going on?
Right.
And then one day, you just have to say, okay, this is the plight that she has. And I have to accept it. And just go with it. So,
now, how old is your mother?
She just turned 80.
So God bless. Now, how long has this been going on?
Oh, probably 8 years.
8 years. So
she got progressively worse. When she first started, it was things like she forgot your name, really silly things.
Things that we do all the time.
Right, exactly. I mean, she could still do a whole lot of stuff. You wouldn't really know that anything was going on.
Right.
It got progressively worse.
Right.
And then she would talk nonsense. And you get mad. What are you talking about? What is wrong with you? But now, when I go to see my mom, my mom is nonverbal now, but she is in a home where there are a lot of people in the home that have Alzheimer's and dementia, and some of them are very verbal. And what I learned is go with it.
Right.
So one lady who I especially love in the home. Her name is Peggy. She's like 94, I think.
Right.
The first time we met, she said to me, "Oh my God, I can't believe it's you." And I said, "Oh my God." And she's like, "You remember when we graduated high school? I never thought I'd see you." So she thought I graduated Greenwich High School with her. And I just went with it.
Yeah,
and I went right with it. And for the life of her, she believed that I was her best friend in Greenwich High School. And I just let her believe it. And she kept telling me how good I looked. Like, right, I look great for 94. But she's like the love. I just love her to death. And all of them, one guy thinks I'm his wife when I come in, and he says to the nurses, "My wife just got here." So I sit down and talk to him. Mm-hmm. And you just got to go with it. Just go with it. Whatever they say, go with it. It makes you feel better, and it doesn't confuse them anymore. Now my mom's at a stage where she doesn't talk, she doesn't move, she's in a wheelchair. My favorite thing to do now with her is go there early in the morning or at night when she's in bed, and I crawl in bed with her. And they still love that closeness and that touching. Mm-hmm. They love that. Even though she can't verbalize to me, I can see the smiles on her face. She relaxes. I always crawl in bed with her, and I love it. So if you have a parent that's doing this, try those things.
Touch is always
huge.
The biggest, the biggest cure all is touch. My mom is only, I think she's 73 or 74 now. She's 74, and she was diagnosed probably around her. Maybe around her 70th birthday, maybe a little bit shy of that, because we started noticing, and my husband was the one that kept saying, he's like, "Something's wrong with your mother. She's losing her mind." And my mother was always a force to be reckoned with. Mm-hmm. So it was very difficult because she was spicy, and I'm being kind. So, she always said things that no one should say. I mean, go figure where I get it from.
So she got diagnosed with 70 and she's 73. She progressed that rapidly.
Yeah, what happened was that it started, and I remember my father took it. She was so strong-willed that we were trying to get her to the doctor so we could find out what the hell was wrong with her, and she would curse us all out and tell us the hell with you.
That's part of the disease too. Yeah.
Well, but my mother would curse you out when she was 30. So we didn't know, and so she was like, "You guys are gonna put me in a home. You think I'm crazy? There's nothing wrong with me." And there were signs that things were going wrong. Then my parents would come to my house, and my mother got on the highway going the wrong way because my mother was the driver, not my father. And I'm like, this is not okay.
No,
we had to worry about it, and she was still working. I was like a nervous wreck. And she started it progressively, getting worse. And then my husband died in 2014. So what is that? 4 years ago. Mm-hmm. So this was all around the same time. So I would call him up like hysterical because I had my son, remember, was like 5 years old, 4 years old. And I was completely overwhelmed. And now my mother's calling me crying because she's afraid, she's this, she's that. Now I'm screaming at my father, "Why did you leave her by herself? What's going on?" And it was all a learning curve because,
it's a huge learning curve.
You don't know what's going on.
You don't know. You can't figure it out because they look normal.
Right.
And for the most part, they act
moments.
Right. For the most part, they act normal.
Yep.
So then you're like, what is wrong with you?
Yeah.
And you find yourself getting really angry with them. And then you feel so guilty when you know that it wasn't really their fault.
Or denial. Like my father was in denial.
My dad was too.
My father was in denial. And, and I'll never forget when they came home from the doctor, my father called me up. He goes, "Oh, yeah, she has frontal lobe dementia. They're going to give her this medication and she's going to be good." And I was like, "What?" And of course, I went right on and I started, researching.
Yeah, sure.
Frontal lobe dementia is a different area in the brain, it's obviously. And they say with frontal lobe dementia, they don't forget people. Like, they don't forget who you are. But they lack in social skills and all of these things. So what happened with my mom was that, she needed care, or like my father was either with her or there was an aide with her, and she used to get into these, they have these loops, I call them, and they're manic, and they start running, like she would start pacing back and forth, or she'd make the bed, unmake the bed, make the bed, unmake the bed, she'd smooth out the blanket, smooth out the blanket, smooth out the blanket. They have these loops, and they just get obsessed with these things. So my mother would go like cuckoo and start walking around the house. So one morning she fell down the stairs. And when she fell down the stairs, her bone came out of her foot, and she ended up with a compound fracture and had to have emergency surgery.
Oh, anesthesia sets them back.
And
huge.
My greatest fear was that was the beginning of the end.
And it was, right?
So, of course. And then she became incontinent because she wasn't able to walk to the bathroom because they couldn't trust that she wasn't going to weight bear. If it was you or I, we would know we can't put our foot down.
Right, exactly.
So she didn't. And she didn't want to go in the diaper because she knew it wasn't right, but we had no choice. And I knew once that happened, she was never going to get it back again. And that was the beginning of the end. So
now, does your mom speak now?
No.
She doesn't.
She
in a wheelchair?
She was speaking. And then, of course, she was tripping out a little bit on the drugs. And I fought with them. Like I didn't want them to give her the codeine because that's supposed to make it worse.
Right.
But then she's in pain, so you don't know what the hell to do.
There's like this happy medium because we went through the same thing. My mother had a lot of anxiety, and then they were giving her anxiety, Lexapro maybe, I can't remember. And then we had to change that because then she got too much of that and she was sleeping all the time. I mean, it was like a happy medium to find the right medication. But, one simple illness really throws them back. Something as simple as urinary tract infection will set them back.
Well, that's big with dementia, too. Urinary tract infections.
It's a nightmare. So your mom, is she in a wheelchair?
So she had to have the 2 surgeries done, and then she went to rehab, and she walked again. And we couldn't bring her home. We had to put her into a place because we just couldn't take care of her. She was incontinent and everything else. She needed 24-hour care, which again, nobody wants to leave their parent in a horrific place like that.
No.
And so she was there, and then like every month you get a phone call for something. So she ended up with, like you said, some type of a fecal infection, and she ran like this high fever, and then she finally got back from the hospital and was okay, and then we get a phone call that she fell. So now she broke a hip. So now she needs to get the freaking pins and stuff in there.
Oh, wow, that's a serious break.
So now, my mother was a dancer. So in her eyes, if she can't walk, kill her. And she would say that, if I can't walk, kill me. And so now, she can't speak. She stopped speaking, and the doctors think that it was from the medications that she took.
Does she ever say anything?
Well, sometimes yes. And what was weird was after she had the second surgery, when she had her hip done, and I don't know if it was from whatever Medicaid, they were giving her the codeine again, which I didn't want them to do, but she spoke when she was in rehab. Like, my father called me, he was like, someone wants to talk to you, and she said, "Hi, Karen," and I almost fell off the chair. It stops your heart, I almost fell off the chair. And, so she spoke a little bit and, whatever, but I fought tooth and nail, for everything to try to get her, the help that she needed. Because, the truth of the matter is that, I give the people that work in these places credit upon credit upon credit, because what they do is not easy.
No.
But also, it's a job for them. And, the quieter they are, the happier they are. It's like when your kid's sleeping, you're good because you know that you don't have to deal. These people, my mother doesn't talk. All right, she's not going to bother me. She's not going to start yelling at me. And I walk in, and this place is a 5-star, and she's soaking wet because she...
I mean, and I've, told you many times, when you're an active family member and you go, you catch them all the time. Because... they don't do their job, and they complain constantly. Well, they're only
overworked.
paying me $12 an hour. Then don't take the job.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, don't take the job.
Yeah.
Because these are human beings. I see people, and I have advocated for people that are not my family.
Yep, me
that
too.
don't have family there, where I see them not getting anything to drink. They're dehydrated. They're sick. But you're right. And then they drug them to keep them quiet. So you see all these people like passed out in wheelchairs.
Yep.
And my mom is also at what is supposed to be one of the better homes, right? But every single time I go, I see something bad. I saw the recreational director basically abuse the dementia patients because she just didn't have the patience for them. Then get out of the job. Yeah. This is not where you belong. These women, one woman, this one especially made me upset. She would sit there and she wanted pancakes. Now, this woman has Alzheimer's. She doesn't know from pancakes. She just said, can you get me pancakes? And this recreational director laid her out. Do you think I'm a short order cook? I'm not. And I'm saying to myself, just say yes.
Yes.
What is the problem here? Say, yeah, sure, I'll get you a pancake. Give me 5 minutes. She has no idea you're not going to get her
and then in
pancakes.
5 minutes, if she says, where are my pancakes? They're coming.
I'm
getting
them.
them.
Right, just appease these people. They are suffering.
Yep.
Suffering. And there was one lady there, and she broke my heart, this poor woman. She would just call out for her mother all the time. Mom, where are you? Where are you? And I thought, wow, she's so tormented inside that this is all she knows. She's looking for her mom. And clearly her mom is gone.
Right.
She's 70 or 80 years old herself.
Right.
And I just thought, wow, she's so tormented. I just wanted to hug her.
Yeah.
Or sometimes I'd go over there and be like, what's the matter? Are you okay? What can I do? And she'd be like, Mom, is that you? Yes, it's me. Yeah. Here I am. You know, like, why can't these people that work there do that?
Because again, it's a hard thing because it's their job and it's what they do day in and day out, and they lose their patience.
I want to open my own nursing home, Karen. We should do it, and I want it to look every room to look like a home, and I want everybody that works there to just go with everything. You want pancakes? You got pancakes. It's for you. Yeah. You know, there's got to be a better way.
Yeah, one would think there's a better way, but unfortunately, the healthcare system blows monkey chunks.
It does.
And, it's very difficult on everybody involved because, you try to do the best you can. And, like, my mother's worst nightmare was to be in a home like this.
My mom, too.
And now, we have made her worst nightmare come true. So
and then you feel guilty. You always feel guilty about it. And then people will say to you, but you can't. If I could take my mom home and put her into my spare bedroom and keep her there, I would do it. Right.
And I've tried, believe me, I've had the conversation with my father, and it's an exorbitant amount of money too. Yeah. And so you try to say, like, Jesus, could I, like, is it cheaper to get this? You try to think, but then the problem too is that if you have home attendants that are coming to help, number one, if the home attendant doesn't come, what are you going to do?
Right,
you're not equipped to take care of a person like this. That's number one. Number two is that even though they may not be completely with you, at least they're not alone. So they bring them into the activity rooms. They bring them there and they see activity, they see things. There are some type of stimuli. They, even though they may be passed out in the chair.
No, you're right. They have music. They have. And they put TVs on. They try sometimes, but I don't know.
I mean, and how would you
it's
know?
Just awful.
How do you know too? Unless you have like a nanny cam or something, you could be hiring somebody.
Don't
to
think
stay
that
there
I don't
with
want a nanny cam in there.
Oh,
you don't even know.
You know what?
I think I'd kill myself. The daycares,
I'd kill
so we can keep an eye on what's going on there. Because when nobody's there, I see people there that have no family.
I know. And you know what? I also try to check myself before I wreck myself on that too. Because you know what? I have this horrible feeling, like I get this sensation, like if you talk to the aides the wrong way, that they're going to do something to my mother and go, oh, your daughter got a big mouth. Now what?
I know it.
Right now I said that I want to throw up because you're powerless. You're powerless. So
I know.
You have to watch because you want. I mean,
isn't that terrible though that you're so scared that these people that work there are going to hurt your parent because your mom or your dad or whoever you have there can't speak up.
Yep.
And these dementia patients can't speak up.
Yep.
The other patients on the floor can. You know, the people, the permanent residents there, they can speak up. But dementia patients can't speak up.
Well, some
they
of them
need voices.
Some
but you never know. Like, are they for real? Are they not for real? Right?
Right.
Are they?
True.
They said this one kicked me. This
right.
one.
Right.
You have to take it with a grain of salt.
Right.
Did this really happen? Did this not really happen?
Right.
That's why I think they should all have cameras.
Well, supposedly they do. And
ours doesn't.
Okay, in ours there are cameras in every room, and the security guard sees all the cameras. They're not in their own personal rooms, but they're in every, like, you know, shared space, if you will, or public area. So they do have that. So that's if somebody falls or whatever, you know, they see it. I actually had a nightmare story where one of my nightmares came true when I was there. And they went to take my mother. There was a woman, this was right after she had came back from her hip, breaking her hip. Mm-hmm. And there was a nurse that came to come and check her out to, you know, because they were going to give her the therapies there.
Right.
So I said to her, you know, she says, well, I'm going to check this, that, and the other. And you know what? At that point, I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know what went on in the other place. And I said, you know, if you're going to check her, I want you to check her whole body. I want you to make sure there were no bruises on her body. I want you to look at everything. Because how do we know?
You don't know.
So she, you know, she said absolutely. And they went to take her. And she was in the wheelchair at this point. The woman took her. Did not tell her she was taking her. She grabbed her. She took the wheelchair because my mother leaned forward sometimes. Mm-hmm. So she was concerned because she leaned forward. She took her. She flipped the chair backwards. And I am talking, she went like this to flip it. My mother's head was almost in her, como se llama, right there. That's how far she flipped her. My mother's face turned the color of I don't know what. I screamed. My poor mother was backwards and she's pushing her like a freaking animal. I was like, what are you doing? I put her down. The security guard saw it. Everybody saw it. My body trembled from head to toe. I was going to physically kill this person.
Yeah.
I was trembling. And now you say to yourself, right? You said, well, you don't know how much they know. We think, we this, we that. So now I tell her, Mommy, I'm sorry. We take her to the room. And now the woman has to examine her now. The nurse is there. One of the aides is there. I went nuts. I went to I said, if that woman goes near my mother again, forget. And I went nuts with the whole thing. And so everybody, oh, I'm sorry, this, that, and the other. So now my mother's having all this done. All of a sudden, she looks at me. She puts her arms out to me. And she starts hysterically crying, shaking. So now you tell me what she didn't know.
Right. No, she knew.
She knew.
There are definitely moments of lucidity, for sure.
No. But I know she has. But see, she has those. She's not that. She knows what's going on. I think sometimes she tunes out because who the hell wants to live? Like, I'd rather just tune out, you know? And so that I don't have to do that. So she's not fighting to be present because why should she? You know? And so when that happened, it confirmed, not only did I see my worst nightmare in front of me, but it confirmed to me that she knew. So now, if anybody was, you know, like, I physically saw with my own eyes. I pray to God that's the only thing that ever happened.
No, you know, I'll tell you, Karen, I've seen some stuff, like, they have these, male CPAs, CNAs, working at the
we don't have any
home.
of those.
Well, they do, and so my mom has a roommate, and she's, you know, she was a walker and a talker.
Okay.
She didn't make a lot of sense, but she's a very sweet old lady, and we had said to them, do not let men change my mom, because she would scream.
Okay.
Because I think she thought she was being attacked. So one day I'm in there laying in bed with my mom. The guy comes in, and he's now going to change my mom's roommate. And she starts screaming, get your hands off of me, you pig. I'm going to scream. And she's screaming like, rape, rape, rape.
Oh, my God.
And you're thinking to yourself, what is going on here? Like, why are they, let the men take care of the men.
Right.
This woman is like 85, 86. Yeah, she has dementia, but she still thinks this man is trying to attack her.
And she's
taking
rights.
off her clothes.
She has rights. She's human.
He's changing her diaper.
Yeah.
I mean, these are really personal things. Like,
yeah.
why are you sending a male CNA
Yep.
in there to change
Agreed.
her? And listening. Now, the nurses, the RNs, the real nurses on the floor, hear this. Why don't you stop it? Why are you torturing her? Because in that moment, she's being tortured.
Yes.
Yeah, maybe 10 minutes after she forgets. But those 10 minutes that she was being tortured are 10 really terrifying minutes for her.
Well, they're terrified to begin with. So you add anything to the mix.
It's just horrible.
And
that's what I mean. It's just things that we think of as common sense.
Yeah.
And they're not doing it.
Because they're desensitized.
They're right.
And you know what? It's not their mother.
It's not their mother.
And you know what? And that's what I try to say sometimes. And I'm very conscious when I see some of the aides or whatever, and I say to them, thank you so much. I always try to...
Yeah, there are a couple of aides
that are
there
amazing.
that we love to death, and they know we love them.
Yep.
And then there
and
are
they
some...
should.
But, you know, we've said to them, we don't want this aide working with my mom.
Yes.
We don't want this one. We don't want that one.
Yes.
Because they're just not nice. They're not kind. But, it's a nightmare. The whole thing is a nightmare.
It is a nightmare. And it's also humanity because, you know, again, these people are people. They're human. And they're adults. They're not children. Not that anybody should be treated that way. But,
no, but we need a better system. We really do.
It's a terrible system. We also need to understand why so many people are suffering from dementia because, you know, this is an epidemic at this point. You know, I don't know what the statistics are, but it's like 1 in 6 people, I think, are they're saying have dementia at this point.
It's a scary thing.
And I think, my personal opinion, and I'm not a doctor, and these are not the views of Miami Mike Radio, but, you know, I personally think that it has a lot to do with the foods that we eat, the vaccines that we're given, all of these things where all of these additives and all of these things, this genetically modified foods and whatever's going into the ozone layer with whatever and the radiation we get from our phones and the, you know, all of these electromagnetic, all of these things, plus that I think with my mother in particular, you know, in the 80s, everything was fat free. And, you know, it's a known fact that your brain needs fat, good fat. We were all scared away from fat, any type of fat. And like coconut oil is like a cure-all for everything.
Well, there was some study done for coconut oil and Alzheimer's
Yes,
disease.
and it was supposed to help to correct it.
Right, but I think honestly that you need to get in there early.
Yeah, 100%.
You know?
And listen,
They're coming a long way. I definitely think that they're going to have a cure for Alzheimer's in our lifetime.
You think so?
Yeah, I do. I think that they're getting very close.
Gee, I hope so.
I really do. I think they're getting very close to... If you catch it early... Now, my father-in-law also suffers from dementia. But if you catch it early, the medicines that they do have really help...
They're supposed to delay it, but like my mother was on all that, and
she did the Aricept and the.
Within a year, everything had to. I don't know what she was on, but everything had. I mean, remember my husband died at that point too,
right.
So I was, you know.
There was I do think that the meds, some of the meds that they have are amazing, just like AIDS in the 80s, right now.
That's
so
true.
I mean, it was a terminal illness. Then people were terrified, and now it's chronic. People live with it.
Yes.
They live, and it's managed with medications.
Right.
And I do believe that Alzheimer's is close. It's very, very close,
God, I hope
right?
so. I hope so.
But, you know,
well, the
see.
crazy thing is this. I read a lot of the articles that I see
me
and
too.
everything.
I read everything.
So my mother doesn't fit any of the things that tells you that you would have a precursor for Alzheimer's.
Right.
The only thing that my mother fit was trauma, which we were in a very bad car accident and she was, you know, hurt very badly. And so that was trauma. And the low fat, you know, thing where I guess her brain didn't.
I don't think my mom fits into any of the categories either. I don't think they know why one brain gets it and one doesn't. I don't think that they...
Well, I've read a lot of things, and they say, you got to exercise, you have to feed your brain. Dr. Mercola talks a lot about, they call it the second diabetes 3, or, but yeah, they don't have a grasp on what actually causes it. They know it's plaque on the brain, and they're trying to figure out ways to not have that plaque.
That's exactly what they're trying to do now, is trying to figure out who's predisposed for it. So they're coming out with vaccines and things like that, but they don't know who is predisposed for Alzheimer's and who isn't. That is the big question.
Well, my question is always, how is it that they're testing this in lab mice or rats or animals? So how do they give you dementia? So that's my question. So if you're giving somebody dementia, if you know what's causing it, then you should be able to fix it.
I'm not exactly sure. I have a friend that does research. I could ask him.
You know what I mean?
How they get the plaque on the brain. I don't really know how.
Well, there's a couple of reasons, and like I said, these are the things, and some people's bodies are just prone to it. But I'm just trying to say, what I never understood is, if you can give the lab rat Alzheimer's, then you know what you put in it. So, it's like, how do you eradicate it,
I don't know. I'm not sure.
I know.
I'm not sure. Are they actually doing that, giving lab rats dementia?
Anytime yes, because that's... if they're doing testing, that's what they're doing, because they're doing it in animals. The problem, from what I know, and I'm not, don't hold me to this, but, to study a brain while you're alive is very tricky. They usually can't dissect the brain.
They're doing PET scans and CAT scans and things like that.
But they don't. When somebody dies of Alzheimer's, that's when they can get into the brain.
Well, you have to donate it.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. So the brain is not functioning, so it makes it more difficult for them to narrow these things down.
I'm not really sure how they get to it.
Yeah, it's a very tricky, very tricky thing. So for any of you out there who have parents that suffer from this horrific disease, you are not alone. And, when you have those bad days, hopefully you have somebody that you can vent to or cry to, because normally when I leave there, I'm crying.
Oh, yeah. Me too.
And
every time.
Yeah.
Only because you just feel sad. You miss the person that they were. They're still here on Earth, but they're gone.
Well, that's why it's horrific to me. Because
they're like
it's
zombies.
Again, it's like being trapped in... that's how being trapped in your own body. When I look at my mother, she's looking at me, and I know what she's saying to me. And I just want to kill myself because I can't fix it.
Yeah.
So it's a horrible thing. I mean, we had a blessed day on Sunday. They did a Thanksgiving thing at the home for her. And I brought my son, and my father was there, and my cousin, and the cousin, and the couple came. And it was, when I got there, my father was like, his face was lit up, and he goes, she's talking. And I was like, really? So I was like, hi, Mommy. And she goes, hi. And I was like, oh my God, she's talking. So then, I get in her face, and I'm talking to her or whatever, and she's touching me,
right,
and all of that, and she sees Noah, and she puts her arms out and she kisses him, and he's like, hi, Grandma, and he hasn't seen her in a little bit. So, they're interacting or whatever, and then my heart just exploded, because my father reached over to her and he said, give me a kiss. And she kissed him, and she put her hand on the back of his neck, and just with so much love. And he said, I love you. And she said, I love you too. And I had tears in my eyes. Like I couldn't believe what I just witnessed. And I just thought, like, my father, like, what an amazing gift. It was an amazing gift. And she got overwhelmed afterwards, but she was present for a little bit.
It's always nice when that, I still hope sometimes that I'll catch a moment like that, but it's been a long time.
I get it. And that's why, like,
every time I go, I always think, like, maybe today will be the day. Because sometimes it happens.
Yeah, it does.
And you just don't know when it's going to happen.
Yeah.
But sometimes it happens.
Yeah, I kind of I mean, the last time I went to see her, she didn't even register that I was there. At all.
That's happened to me too.
And it kills you. You sit there and you just, when you leave, you don't know, like it's just terrible because it's like you're not even, you didn't.
It's a
even
horrible
register.
ride home. You just like cry in the car.
Well, that was when I texted you.
You gotta like talk yourself off the ledge.
Yep.
You do all of those things.
Yep.
And then you kind of power through. You know, it's just, it's not easy. It's a terrible thing to live with for us, for them, for the whole family.
Right. And so, you know, this is part of our conversation today too, is, you know, how do you balance life, right? Because here you spend your day, you know, encouraging people and stimulating and motivating, and yet you walk around with this heavy heart, you know, so, you know, how, like you said that there were, I mean, how do you do it?
You know, I don't know, Karen. Like, it's a switch.
I know.
It's like a switch, you know, like like that.
I call it an on and off
when my
switch.
dog died,
Yes.
I was devastated.
Yep.
Now, you know, the gym isn't going to cancel my class because my dog died. They don't really
care,
right?
No.
So I had to go there, and I couldn't
smile.
be crying.
And smile.
I just get in there and flip the switch.
Yep.
Like, so that part of me goes to sleep, and a different part of me wakes up. And I don't know how I do it, but I do it.
You know, it's funny that you say that, because I used to tell my girlfriend that. I said, flip the switch. And you know what? I never knew how to flip the switch either.
But
I learned after I lost my husband, because you can't. You have to disconnect.
Right.
So that's what the switch is.
Well, sometimes I think, like, it takes really horrible things happening in your life for that switch to have to come out.
And
so sometimes they'll flip it off
Yep.
when you get alone and you just want some time, and you're allowed to wallow in your own sadness. You have to sometimes.
You have to lick your wounds.
You have to give yourself that chance to sort of grieve.
Yep.
And then you have to say, okay, I got to put this to bed right now. I'll revisit it maybe next week when I have a minute.
Right.
Or, you know, when I'm driving and I'm alone, or when I'm doing something else, or when nobody's in the house and I'm watching a sad movie or whatever.
Right.
You have to revisit it.
Right.
But then you got to put it to bed. Okay, I'm done for today. I got this out of my system. I got all the things to do, more to focus on.
Right. And it's not easy, because you know what? I mean, look, you're getting up in front of people. I remember when you lost your dog very recently.
Yeah. And you texted me right after. You're like, you're amazing. I don't know how you did what you just did, but yeah, you know, that's what you do. You just flip it. Okay, now I have a job to do. Right. And then when you're done, you flip it back off.
Right, but your job also, but see, it's also like a habit, you know, like we talked about earlier.
Right.
Breaking habits. So it's a habit. It becomes a habit for you to flip that switch.
Yeah.
And you said in the beginning of the show, I like to take the negative and turn it into a positive. So, you know, when I go and I see like the life that my mother has right now, it says to me, you need to live yours to the fullest.
Right.
Because tomorrow isn't promised. When I think about the fact that my husband isn't here, my husband lived his life to the fullest. He enjoyed all 43 years he had and lived more than any other human being I know.
And that's what we all do, or some of us, that, you know, we're very lucky that we know how to do that. So for me, when I go to the nursing home, I go there and I try to make other people happy.
Right.
So that turns it around for me. So when I go there, my mom's in a bed, but I'll like wheel my mom around. And I've made a lot of friends that are not on the dementia ward. I'll have coffee with them, bring my mom. And I know that me sitting there with them, and they have no family, brightens their day.
Yep.
And they really love me.
Yep.
And when I leave there, I feel good. Like, I was doing Zumba with them for a while, too. We would do Zumba. Now, many of them in wheelchairs.
Okay.
It didn't matter. So I would stand and dance, and I'd be like, come on. Or the people in the wheelchair, I'm like, pick up your knee. You know, and then they'd leave, and they'd be like, we love you, we love you, we love you. And they really did, and I felt good about that. So I made that horrible nursing home experience positive.
Right.
And that's what you got to do. You got to find your niche. How am I going to flip this into something good?
Right.
Because if I don't, I'm going to just bury myself.
Right.
So, and you don't want to do that. So you have to, as hard as it is, And some things you feel like you'll never find a positive.
Well, yeah, it is very well. I mean, even I was talking about this the other day with somebody, and I actually was talking to a friend. Actually, it was last night. One of my high school best friends. We reconnected, and we were talking, and I said to him, I mean, I went through, one of the worst things a person could go through. I said, but I've become a better person because of it, and like you said, you got to hit rock bottom. And once you get down to the bottom like that, you realize that there's a lot to learn.
Yeah.
And you're never going to know, why. Why did this happen? Why did I lose my husband? Why does my mother have dementia? Why does this? Why? Why did somebody's,
right,
fire?
But if you believe in a greater
happen?
source, right?
It's what?
You have to believe that there's a path for
It's
you.
a what? That's what I'm saying. The question is what? Because what am I supposed to learn from this? What am I supposed to get from this? So it's not always replace the why with a what. Why is a victim.
Right.
And it's feeling sorry for you and for yourself. And again, you're allowed to feel sorry for yourself for certain periods of time at certain points.
Right.
But you
That's
can't
part of
live
being
there.
Human.
That's absolutely.
Right.
You
and,
can't live there.
And you're right. So there's a path for me, and I don't know exactly what it is, but I'm trying to find it.
And that's all you can do.
Right. I can't. There's definitely a greater thing happening at the end of this. So that's what we have to look for the light at the end.
Yeah, well, I believe a lot in the universe, in the law of attraction, and all those type of powers. And there's definitely, there is something, there is the what is there, and you keep searching, and eventually you find it. I mean, I think about like myself, like anybody listening out there, you have friends, right? And your friend comes to you and tells you what's going on. And as you're listening to them telling you what's going on, it resonates in your own head, because that's you probably it resonates because you've been there before. And so now you can't give yourself advice because we never can see, because we're inside of ourselves. Right. But when someone is your mirror image, and you have to, now you see it so clearly because they just told you what their problem was, and it's your problem too in a different degree, but the same thing. So now when you turn around and you see that and you give them advice, you're actually teaching yourself. So, that's why it's no accident.
I've given a lot of advice to people for who have a parent with Alzheimer's. A lot. I've given out a lot of advice, and it's always worked for them.
But it probably works for you too, because
it took me a while, Karen, to find the peace that I needed to find with it. I had to come to peace with the fact that my mom has this disease, and then I had to figure out how I was going to deal with it.
Yep.
When I figured that out, then I was able to share it. And now, even with my husband's family, their dad has Alzheimer's. They never understood when I was going through it.
Uh-huh.
And then, now they want to fight with him. He says, the sky is, I don't know, some weird color, pink, and they're like, no, it isn't. Or the grass is blue. No, it isn't. And I said, just tell him it is.
Right.
And stop fighting with him.
Yeah.
Forget it. If he wants to stay and do something, if he's obsessing over something, let him obsess.
Yep.
Just let him stay there and obsess. As long as he's not setting himself on fire, go get some other stuff done while he's obsessing on rearranging the refrigerator.
Yep.
Go ahead, knock yourself out. Walk away. Breathe. It doesn't matter.
Well, that's the whole thing, is that in life, I think, especially you're a strong woman. A lot of us that are strong, we think we can do anything. I can fix anything. What's the problem? Okay, and you fix it. So this is a situation you can't fix. And like I just said, you're powerless, because now they're in the hands of other people, and you're powerless. And they're powerless against this disease, because once they're so far gone like that, there really is nothing you can do at this point in time.
But you never stop trying to fix it.
You know what? I'm going to disagree with you on that. I learned that I can't fix it anymore, and I don't it's hard for me, and that's the part I have a hard time making peace with. But I realized after I lost my husband, I was the biggest control freak there is, and I realized that I have no control over anything.
I don't try to fix my mom's illness, but I'm on top of fixing the situation at that home where she's at. I'm on it.
That's different. Well, and
in that sense,
that's different.
Like, I am on it, and they know I'm on it.
Yes.
They know that if I see one person being mishandled, that I'm calling the state on them. And don't think I haven't called the state on them already.
Yeah.
I will not tolerate it, whether it's my mother or whether it's any person in
agree.
there. And that's it. I'm an advocate for them, and so that's my fix it.
Right.
You know I came to peace with my mom's disease probably maybe right after my father passed away. I realized, I was like him. I was in total denial of it. And then once he was gone, I was like, I got to make the best of this because he wants me to take care of my mom the right way.
Right.
So I did. So once I came to peace with that, my fix-it transferred over to, well, I can't take care of her, but she's going to get the best care she deserves. And I'm not going to lay off of these people.
Right. And you know what? I said this the other day to somebody. Had I not lost my husband, I feel like I could have done more for her. But it was all I could do just to wake up in the morning.
Yeah, but you can't.
I
think you could, but
I
you can't beat yourself up about things like that. You really can't.
I'm not beating myself up, but I feel like what you like. I have it in me, but I don't, because I still fight every day. So for me to fight those fights, every time she needed me, like when something happened, I handled it.
Yeah.
But I can't, like you're that ongoing fight. I can't do it because I can't breathe after a while. So I have to pull back. I don't have enough strength. Honestly, I don't have enough strength.
There are some times where I don't have it either.
Yeah, I'm sure.
It just happens.
No, I get it. But had things not been, like everything else, had things not been the way they were, I feel like I could have done more. But at this point, I've just realized that you have no control over anything. And things that are going to happen are going to happen.
Right.
And my husband always used to say to me, you push until you get it. And I'm like, that's right, because you don't get nothing until you push. And then my husband would say to me, but Karen, sometimes things aren't meant to happen. Or maybe they're not meant to happen then. So you need to just step back. Because you push too much and then you make something happen that wasn't supposed to.
I see, yep.
So, it's like that catch, and that's why I believe in the power of the universe and all of these things, because it does come full cycle like that. And what's going to happen is going to happen, and the timing has already been designated.
Right.
So we're just living through it. But the timing is already there. So tomorrow is another day and another journey, begins. Another adventure begins. So we have talked now for an hour and 56 minutes, which I know, and it's funny because Mike texted me in the middle like, oh, you need extra time? I see you already took it. Don't leave an Aries woman. Don't give her time. That's it. We got two talkers over here.
That's it.
I know we lost a couple of people on the Facebook Live when we started talking about
I can't wait
dementia.
to read all the comments.
Yeah, I guess people didn't really, it's a hard thing to listen to, and I totally get that. But, again, I just want to remind you guys that the holidays are here. And first of all, don't eat like a fat ass.
Right. Okay, let's sum it up.
Get your lazy butt to the gym.
Get to the gym. Get an accountability group going.
Yes,
let's do that.
Or if you don't want to talk to nobody, then just write it down. Get yourself a little notebook.
Do it old school.
Do it old school. Everything we do is old school. Or write it in your notes on your phone and write down what you ate.
Right.
so that you don't say, oh my God, I don't understand why my pants don't fit.
Or come visit me at the gym. We'll take care of it.
And definitely try to find something you like. I love, Mary's a great teacher, and she, makes me want to do stuff. So I'm trying different classes.
I make you want to do stuff?
You make me want to do stuff.
Wow.
Yeah, go out and drink. No. Yeah. No, I mean, I told you that. I hate Pilates.
Right.
I did it when I was younger, when I was in high school, and it brought me back like to horrible memories. And then you brought me in that room the other day, and I was
she
like,
said, "Oh, I want you to
all
torture
right,
me on this machine.
I'm gonna try it.
I'll
try it because I enjoy your classes. So that's the whole thing. You got to find somebody.
Find someone infectious,
yeah, or that drives you crazy, whatever it is.
Right.
No, you got to
makes you want to do stuff.
You got to find something that makes you feel good. 100%.
Right.
And be kind.
Do a random act of kindness every day.
The
It'll make
holidays,
you feel good. It'll make them feel good.
The holidays are very difficult for some, and you need to be sensitive to that. Be kind. Keep your door open. And try to do something nice for somebody. What else did we need to review? Well, I don't know. I don't think that was it. Oh, and again, we want our prayers and condolences go out to Kim O'Connell's family.
To her family.
May she rest in peace. And I know she's with her daughter now, and we send regards to her daughter that she left here on Earth. I can't imagine what she's going through.
We're so sad for you.
Yes. Sending love to Lily, and her 5 kids with the tragedy of her home burning. And the GoFundMe page, again, I think somebody put it on the link on the Facebook Live as well. Please go to that. So let's be thankful on Thanksgiving and try to think about what we have and not what we don't.
Right.
So be thankful that you have food on the table,
and
God willing. Anything. Be thankful for your health. I mean, I have a client.
Yeah, health is really important.
I have a client of mine that called me up and she said, I don't know if I can come, to my appointment because, I haven't been feeling well. I'm like, well, what's wrong? So she said, I can't go to the bathroom. And I said, so I thought she couldn't go potty. And when she got here, she was almost in tears. And I was just like, what's wrong? And she couldn't pee. So she had a bag, what's that called?
A catheter.
Yeah, she had a catheter, and she couldn't pee. And you sit there and you think in your head, you take for granted that you can pee. And I do it 37,000 times a day. So could you imagine? And yeah, you have to laugh, right?
Some of my worst nightmares. Yeah.
I'm just saying, we take for granted so much.
No, we do. We really do.
And because life is so hard that it becomes very difficult to be grateful because you have all these other things that you really don't want. So it's very difficult to be grateful because until you don't have it, you don't realize how lucky you are to have it.
That's very true.
So, on Thanksgiving, even if everything in the world is going wrong,
go around the table.
There's got to be
everybody say something.
And maybe there's nobody at the table. Maybe it's just you. But you know what? In order for you to get through the next day, you still got to be grateful for something.
Be thankful for you.
There's got to be something. So again, random acts of kindness, especially during the holidays, is what we need to do. Party it up. Stuff your face on Thanksgiving.
Enjoy.
Be a fat ass, but make sure you get back on the wagon.
Back on track.
Friday. Don't go till Monday in Fat Ass Central. You need to put something on your mouth and stop. So,
hey Ruben, where do you live? Because
Thanksgiving,
his door's open.
Oh, that's very kind. I always say open door policy, Ruben. Commenting on Facebook Live, you should always have an open door. You never know who doesn't have some place to go.
It's so true.
So, tomorrow night is one of the biggest club nights of the year.
Oh.
So, there's a lot of things going on, but Anthony Mangini, one of our own DJs, is going to be at the Copacabana in Port Chester.
Oh, fun.
And he's starting at 8. Yeah, that was the place you came to.
Yeah, that's a fun place.
When I hosted. Yeah.
Definitely go, guys.
So, he's going to be there. We ate a little something there. The food was good, too.
Yeah, we did.
That bartender made me an awesome freaking drink,
yeah,
too.
she was very good.
Yeah. She was, crafty and making stuff.
The drinks were good.
The dancing was fun.
Yes,
and he's starting early at 8 o'clock. I know there's a lot lot of things going on in a lot of different places. Just be safe. I don't know if I'm making it out because I am cooking. So, I got to make love to a turkey in the morning. So,
Whoa.
I don't know yet. Well, I got to get it from somewhere.
And it's in 2 mornings.
Well, yeah, no, but not tomorrow.
Oh, you mean...
I mean, if I went out Wednesday.
After a night out, you don't know what that turkey's going to be stuffed with.
And I still... Right. It's going to be stuffed with tequila.
That'll make everybody happy.
But no, I have to cook tomorrow, so I don't know when I'm going to be done, if I'm going to be able to make it out. But I know there are a lot of things going on, so be safe. Have a very happy Thanksgiving,
Happy
of course.
Thanksgiving, everybody.
And what else was I going to say? So that was, I know there was something else. I mean, I'm going to talk about all of our shows here. But yes, Anthony is at the Copa Wednesday night. Just so you guys remember all of our shows. On Mondays, we have The Ride Home with DJ Paulie, aka the Portuguese Prince, from 6 to 9. Mind Candy Mondays with DJ Rob Mush from 9 to 11. On Tuesdays in the afternoon from 1 to 3, we have Steve, DJ Simply Nice. And of course, Tuesdays, it's me, Karen Stacy, Real Talk with Karen Stacy. And Wednesdays, we have DJ Lady E at 7 p.m. Following her is the Mayhem Loyal Listener Show with Hamilton Czar and Maymay from 8:30 to 11:30. Thursdays, we have Gino Caffarelli with his Throwback in the Day show. And I believe that's 1 to 3, if I'm not mistaken. We have the Traffic Jam with DJ Michael Anthony from 4 to 6 on Thursdays. Fridays, we have DJ Simply Nice, again, from 8 to 10. And following is Friday Night Sessions with Tony Sinapi from 9 to midnight. Saturdays, we have the Ghazi Show with DJ Ghazi from 8 to 10 p.m. And then, of course, we have the Saturday Night Dance Party with Mr. Anthony Mangini. So we have a full lineup. Make sure you check in on MiamiMikeRadio.com. Also, December 6th, which is obviously not this Thursday, but the following Thursday. Could you believe it's going to be December already?
Oh.
So December 6th, I have
I think it's 2 Thursdays, actually, because this Thursday's 22nd, so next Thursday's 29th, so 2 weeks from this Thursday.
Oh, it is? Okay, thank God, because I was thinking
I know, that was you were just pushing us.
I was like, wait a minute, that's really,
Hold on,
fast.
Karen.
Yeah,
that would have been fast.
All right, good.
So
I'm glad
weeks,
that we have 2 weeks. But in 2 weeks, on a Thursday from 7 to 9, actually one of my high school BFFs who was on my show, Coyote Hank, or Hank Coyote, he has the Coyote Love band, and they're doing an acoustic jam.
Nice.
And I'll be hosting it, and it is at the Gnarly Vine in
New Rochelle?
New Rochelle.
Awesome.
And so that's from 7 to 9. She's going to do like martini drink specials and sangria specials.
Uber it up.
Well, come on, don't swim that night and come hang out with us.
I think I'm going to be in Virginia then. Because my sister's having some surgery.
Yes, I'm so sorry.
She's supposed to be out of home by then, and I'll be there cooking for her family.
Yes, and I wish the best for that. I'm sorry. You're right. You did tell me that. But, my brain.
That's all right.
The switch was off. Switch was off. So, I hope I did. I feel like I'm forgetting something.
I don't know. What could we have forgotten in 2 hours and 6 minutes?
Oh my God, I know.
Wow.
I don't know.
We just took over this radio show. This radio station.
Yes. Well, thank you guys all so much. Is anybody DJing tonight?
What comes on after you?
Is anyone DJing tonight? I'm not sure. Well, there is no show after me, which is why I have stolen other spots.
Oh.
We have run it over. Yeah, we could keep going. I think people might kill themselves, but we could keep going. Thank you guys for listening to us. And again, I know we talked about a lot of things tonight, but it's real talk, and that's the whole point to it, right? It's
real talk.
Keeping it real. And
that's what we did.
That's it. So go visit Anthony Mangini tomorrow night, 8 p.m. In Port Chester.
Dance off those calories.
Oh, yeah, dance off the calories. There
Before
you go.
You eat them.
Yeah.
Can do that.
Absolutely.
Store them up.
Yes, that's a good idea. And a happy and healthy Thanksgiving to everybody out there. We do love you, and you are not alone. Anybody out there that's having it rough, you're not alone. Remember that. There are a lot of people that are living through a lot of things that we're all in the same boat. Life
are
is not
all
easy,
together.
and we are all together.
Just reach out. Somebody will be there to grab your hand and help you up.
Yes, that is the most important thing that we can say, and is that there are people there. So thank you guys. I see some of the comments right now on Facebook. I appreciate all of the comments, and I thank you so much
I'm
for
excited
listening.
to look at all the
yes,
comments.
we will look at them all and respond accordingly. This is a live show, and it is very difficult to respond.
Yeah, it's hard
we
to
can
see.
respond verbally, but my phone text,
Night,
everything goes, and I don't get back to people because we're live on the air.
We're live.
We're live. If I
have
start
my
going
phone
like
turned
this,
upside down.
you'll know that. Yeah, look, I got 100 things on here that are going through. So anyway, I don't know. I think that I just feel like I'm forgetting to say something, and I don't remember what it is. All right. Anyway.
All right, we'll tell you next week.
Yeah, I'll figure
We'll
it
write
out.
it down.
I'll write it down.
We won't forget.
Talk amongst yourselves.
That's it.
All right, you guys have a happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
You know I love you all, and ciao. Happy Tuesday.
Peace out.
Till next week.
Till next week.
Okay.